Hello everybody and welcome back. I am here. Yes, I've been gone. Sorry about that. No real reasons why, just it's been busy. Right, so what has my algorithm got in store for you guys this week? Well, let's take a look. Put up your feet, grab something nice to drink, and in light of Halloween vibes and alien contact, maybe, and election fever, I have only one thing left to say.
So to give an analogy, if understanding that the 3D world that we live in is illusory, it's a three-dimensional, illusional world. The makeup of everything around us is made from geometry, light, sound, light, and then physical. This is important to say. So everything around you is vibrating energy. Everything around you is vibrating energy. This is not solid. Nothing is solid. It is manifested through, as I said, geometry, light, sound, and then there. Because it's like an analogy would be, we are in a matrix system, which is like a virtual reality computer game, where it's a master-slave reality. So the masters would be the 0.01%. They have kept the secrets and the cheats for themselves, and they have left the slaves with amnesia and with no understanding of what's going on.
So if you've ever wondered what the laws of the Matrix is, this might come close to it. Ever felt like a slave? This might also come close to why. Just another perspective, something that came across my feed, thought I'd share. Next up. Oh yeah, imagine we could grow our brains in a petri dish.
Scientists might have just created consciousness by growing brains in a jar and connecting them to a computer made from stem cells that were stimulated in a special way to form neural tissue, which grew and eventually formed structures and even brainwave activity similar to that of a premature human baby. They then hooked up this brain into a computer, connecting it into a virtual world where it learned to play Pong completely from scratch. I want you to realize what this means. Like, this isn't a computer bot that was pre-programmed to know exactly how to play the game. That's easy. It's an organic brain that they grew themselves that was given Pong with no instructions, and it just taught itself how to play, which is honestly nothing new. That's just AI, but this is organic AI, which happens to learn quicker and is also more energy efficient than traditional AI. It learned to play Pong in about 10 to 15 rallies, when a regular computer AI would take around 5,000. Albeit the computer AI can simulate those 5,000 rallies much quicker, but that takes a lot more computing power, which is sorta our main bottleneck with AI at the moment. Energy. This is organoid intelligence. Take human brain cells, grow them in a petri dish, and then use computers to train them just like AI. Naturally, there are ethical concerns rising, as there is surmounting evidence showing us that these are conscious, like a human. Even the scientists working on it themselves admit these organoids are sentient. They took it a step further and tested out these organoid brains inside real physical robots, feeding them the sensory input of everything the robot experiences. And since the computer chip running it is organic brain matter, this technically, by definition, is a cyborg. Then there are companies like Final Spark that let you rent server space on these organoid brains, which essentially act like organic CPUs. You can even see live streams of the brain computers you're renting out. And now this next part right here, what they're doing here might actually prove simulation theory. So they have this virtual butterfly simulation that's controlled by the organoid brains, meaning the brains feel and experience everything the butterflies do. Again, the brains weren't trained or programmed how to be a butterfly. Just like they did with Pong, they were just fed the sensory feelings of being butterflies and kind of figured out themselves how to flap their wings and just exist. Much the same way you weren't pre-programmed to walk or talk. You experienced sensory inputs in the forms of sight, sounds, touch, and learned, taught yourself along the way. This is an organic brain being fed computer data to make it believe it actually exists in a simulated world, and it's also likely sentient. This company essentially just created the Matrix for butterflies, and its consciousness is available for you to rent out. And when no one's using it, it still just continues to exist with no human interaction whatsoever. If the brains really are conscious, as the scientists suggest, they're not gonna know they're this organoid computer brain in a lab hooked up to a virtual simulation. They're gonna believe that they really are that butterfly. If that's the case, what's stopping all of us from being our own organoid brains in some lab in a different dimension? Meaning this, everything we see and experience right now is our own simulation that we've been plugged into, except we're not butterflies, we're humans. And everything we do, every decision we make is not by our own free will, but by some, I don't know, fifth dimensional entity renting server space in our brains, just the same way this Final Spark neural platform lets us do. And when we sleep, maybe our idle brain computational power is used for other purposes, which we experience as dreams. Okay, I'm gonna stop right there. You gotta sleep tonight. Are we really brain organoids, existing in our own petri dishes, connected to and experiencing a fully virtual, simulated world? Because we just pulled it off. And according to simulation theory, if we're capable of creating virtual simulated realities, then chances are we're already living in one.
Well, if that's the case, can I please have the simulated reality that I'm a billionaire? Yeah, what do I have to do around here to get an upgrade? Like, for goodness sake. All right, here's a little bit of health stuff. You know how I like to throw in a few health videos. Is your blood dirty?
You got dirty blood. Maybe your blood is a dumpster fire and it's time for you to take action. Yeah, really. But don't sweat it. I've got 5 herbs to make sure that your blood's fresher than any juice cleanse you've ever bought that we know that you didn't drink. Right here. Number 1 would be wormwood. This herb is like the bouncer your body needs, kicking parasites out of your blood, liver, and intestines. Basically, it's not messing around. It's like that friend we all need, right? When it gets kind of crazy. Then we've got cucumber water, which is so simple. It is the ultimate liver detox. Think of your liver as sipping on cucumber water on a tropical vacation while it kicks out any heavy metals. Next, there's milk thistle. This is like your liver's best buddy at the gym. It reverses all the sluggishness from years of maybe too many bad decisions in college or pharmaceuticals or what you would call a cheat day that turned into a cheat month. Then say hello to moringa seeds. They're like the road crew in your body, widening your arteries, thinning your blood so that it keeps the traffic moving steadily. Red clover is like the cleaning crew sucking out toxins that are tidying up after a wild party.
After a wild party. I think we've all had that. We all know what it's like, feeling sluggish and not ourselves. By the way, if any of these herbs are not available to you, go get Vermox. Here in South Africa, we call a general dewormer Vermox. It is incredible the energy you have after that. But in general, even wormwood, the first herb that he mentioned, that's a natural dewormer. Makes you think. Right, next up. Please watch this and tell me if I'm going cuckoo, but I'm pretty good at watching videos that apparently say there's ghosts in it. I can always tell. Generally, it's just someone stuffing around, but here, I don't quite get this. I mean, CGI could explain it, but I don't know. There's something about this that makes you go, huh? Yeah, that kind of reminds me. Is it done? Is the video done? No, it's not done. We're getting slow-mo stuff here. Wait. That's just freaking bizarre. Look at that. What is that? She stepped into another dimension. not a completely unfamiliar experience, I think. I think we've all had a rough night, we've partied too hard, and then you wake up here at about 3 in the morning, and you're like, well, what day is it? What planet am I on? Probably similar to what she went through, but still, this seemed pretty legit. If any of you know or can see that there's some nonsense going on with CGI, please let us know. But yeah, that really felt real. Okay, right, so you know I'm all about the weird and the wonderful and staying curious. Well, you're going to be hearing a lot about the following concept called immaculate constellation. I don't want to go too much into detail about it right now, but I would like you to pay attention to the next video and mark your diaries for the 13th of November. There's some major information coming out that's going to change a lot. Whistleblowers are coming out in full force. So mark that, 13th November, you'll see. I will be keeping track of that as best I can. In the meantime, here's an introduction.
This involves aliens. A couple days ago, there was a whistleblower talking about this program in the Pentagon, an undisclosed head organization over UAP, UFO. This thing is called the Immaculate Constellation. So this whistleblower went to Congress. Congress went to the Department of Defense, and they said, we know that you have a undisclosed organization. They responded like, no, we don't have the Immaculate Constellation. And they said, we never said that. So now they are holding a congressional hearing on November 13th. There are going to be witnesses that come forward to divulge all. I truly feel that there is going to be a great deception that is about to happen. A faked alien invasion. What that ushers in is potentially a one world government. But there's people like Lou Elizondo and David Grush. They're saying there's an imminent threat. And I think these guys are fully planned because he said something along the lines of it's imminent and I wish we had more time. Time is so valuable. I feel like they're setting the stage. So when something happens,
they offer a solution.
Yes.
Okay, set your dates. 13th November. Watch the space. Just remember also that when they start saying things like this, it's just a distraction from something else. So keep your feelers open for everything. Right, what's up next? Okay, I came across this on YouTube, I think, the other day, and I was like, what the is that?
Salinas, California, October 26, 2024. A metallic spherical object appears to hit a parked semi-truck at tremendously high speed. The object flew off after colliding with the truck and has not been found.
Salinas, California. Check this out. Someone in Salinas is shooting projectiles. Explosives. Check this out, fellas. This is not a firework. Whatever hit this, it even blew out the glass on this truck.
Could this be a UAP? Silver orb UAPs have been historically sighted across the globe. One was spotted flying over the Middle East in 2022. Did a silver orb UAP seriously just crash into a truck in California? Learn how to fucking drive.
Can you imagine that hit someone? That's nuts. Anyway, alright, so in the light of, like I said, US elections, I'm not saying that I'm picking sides, but it's just interesting to see that some politicians still talk to their people like they're people.
You know the best way to stop depression? Work your ass off. Work your ass off. You don't have time. You want to work so hard that you don't have time for depression.
There you go. You want to work so hard you don't have time for depression. And, like I always say, and I will say it every video, good gut health is good mental health. I spent this whole weekend making sauerkraut, which I'll be sending you guys a video, showing you a video in the near future. It's not a joke, but it's so worth it. Yeah, anyway, I won't go into detail with that now. Let's continue. Right, so no one actually dies of cancer, so what are cancer patients dying of then?
Everything I've seen in all the autopsies I've done of cancer patients, not one of them died of cancer. They died of liver failure, they died of cardiac failure, renal failure, all due to chemotherapy. We got a patient that had been through chemo and radiation, and they had cooked her liver and cooked her kidneys. We looked at the blood work and realized she had no organ function to speak of left. And I said, we can make her more comfortable, but the radiation treatment that they used on her has actually destroyed her organs. So we did what we could. She'd been given 3 weeks, we gave her 6 months. And she got time to say goodbye to her family. But I remember walking into the office the morning after she passed, and this internist was sitting on the waiting room couch. And I said, "What's the problem?" And she looked at me and she said, "I'm doing the death certificate, and I don't know what to write for cause of death." I said, "You might try writing the truth for a change." And she said, "You know how much trouble I can get in by doing that?" I said, "If you're going to study with me, you're going to write the truth." And she wrote radiation poisoning, cause of death. She's the only doctor I've ever seen do that. She actually had the courage to tell the truth.
Isn't that amazing? If only more doctors, and by the way, it is happening, more and more doctors are starting to throw out the book and start going with their gut feelings and what they've studied, but also applied actual knowledge. The truth's coming out slowly but surely. Doctors mean well, but they don't realize that they're following a book that's been dictated to them. And if you color outside of those lines, you're done for. Anyway, here's my last video. Generally, I put a lot more funny stuff out there, but like I say, we've had an interesting last few days. It's been Halloween, it's been elections. It's also my birthday week, so hopefully I can do another video this week, maybe make it more jolly. But I am going to end off today's show with something in light of, what did I write here? Yeah, Halloween. Enjoy.
This video comes from an unknown source of 2 paranormal investigators out traveling in the forest when they come across something absolutely terrifying. Take a look.
يا أسد بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
The 2 paranormal investigators come across more than they bargained for when they encounter an absolutely terrifying shadow figure hunched over with smiling teeth and eyes glaring at them.
My dad would normally say, and the band playing the music, why aren't they doing anything about this monster? Sorry, let me continue. It's really irritating when someone interrupts all the time. I'm aware.
Something about it seems honestly absolutely sinister, so they decide to do the only logical thing and turn around and run away. I can't find any other videos on the internet explaining what this thing was or what happened when the cameras went off, so let me know what you guys think down below in the comments.
Yeah, a little freaky, a little bit out there. Clearly somebody didn't put their sunscreen on and now they've got 100th degree burns. You know, and they also couldn't afford a Halloween outfit. You know, you never know the true circumstances behind people's actions. Right, so thanks for joining me again for another episode. I hope you enjoyed that. I will see you again shortly. Maybe even celebrate my birthday month. Let's see where it up. No matter how many times you do this, you still make mistakes. Anyway, take care. Thanks for joining me, and remember always to stay curious. Bye.